In the early decades of the 14th century, high along the jagged backbone of the Andes Mountains where thin air, snow-capped peaks, and steep valleys shaped both land and life, a modest highland kingdom centered on the city of Cusco began a transformation so sweeping and disciplined that within little more than a century it would become the largest, most centralized, and most administratively sophisticated empire ever to exist in pre-Columbian America. An empire the Incas called Tawantinsuyu, the land of the four quarters, a name reflecting not only its territorial organization, but its world view, for from Cusco, regarded as the navel of the world, four great regions radiated outward like the spokes of a cosmic wheel, binding together a colossal realm that stretched nearly 2,500 miles from the lush highlands of modern Ecuador through the heart of Peru and Bolivia, and down into the stark deserts and river valleys of northern Chile and Argentina, encompassing snowfields, jungles, coasts, and plains under a single imperial system ruled by the Sapa Inca, an absolute monarch believed not merely to govern by divine right, but to be the living descendant of Inti, the sun god himself, a belief that fused religion and politics so completely that loyalty to the state became a sacred obligation, demanding obedience from millions of subjects drawn from dozens of ethnic groups and cultures speaking more than 30 distinct languages, all of whom were woven into the empire through a calculated blend of military conquest, strategic diplomacy, and enforced integration that sought not to erase local identities, but to subordinate them to imperial authority. Beneath the Sapa Inca functioned a remarkably efficient and hierarchical bureaucracy composed of royal kin, nobles, provincial governors, and administrators who oversaw every aspect of life, from agriculture and labor to tribute and military logistics, relying on an ingenious system of record-keeping using quipus, bundles of knotted cords whose colors, spacing, and knots encoded numerical data, allowing the state to track population counts, food stores, labor quotas, and military resources across vast distances without the use of a written language, while a monumental road network spanning more than 25,000 miles stitched the empire together, climbing mountains, crossing deserts, and penetrating jungles through stone-paved highways, rope suspension bridges, and relay stations where trained runners known as casqui carried messages at extraordinary speed, supported by state storehouses packed with food, weapons, and clothing. A logistical system so efficient that armies could be supplied and mobilized across the empire faster than many early modern European states. A necessity for a civilization that relied not on money, but on a massive labor tax called the mita, which obligated citizens to serve the state for set periods through farming state lands, constructing roads and temples, mining, and above all, military service. The Inca army was not a permanent standing force, but a vast reservoir of trained manpower drawn from conscription, with men between roughly 25 and 50 years old called upon to fight when needed, while younger men served as porters, scouts, and aides, hauling supplies across perilous terrain. And although most soldiers were farmers during peacetime, nearly every male received basic military training, ensuring that when war erupted, the empire could field disciplined forces numbering in the hundreds of thousands, organized by ethnicity and region, yet unified by centralized command, with warriors drawn from every corner of Tawantinsuyu, each contributing distinctive fighting traditions that were carefully integrated into a flexible and adaptive military system. Highland warriors were masters of the sling, able to hurl stones with lethal accuracy and bone-shattering force. Coastal troops favored long spears and close-order formations, while groups from the eastern forests relied on bows and arrows, sometimes tipped with poison. And when combat closed into brutal hand-to-hand fighting, Inca soldiers wielded heavy wooden clubs, thrusting spears, and terrifying star-shaped maces crafted from stone or bronze, weapons designed to crush helmets and shatter skulls, all while protected by quilted cotton armor hardened with salt, thick wooden shields, and helmets made of wood, cane, or occasionally metal, often adorned with bright feathers, animal motifs, and religious symbols meant to invoke divine favor and inspire both fear and reverence on the battlefield. For decades, this military and administrative system proved devastatingly effective, enabling the Incas to absorb rival kingdoms, suppress rebellions,